the BMW 216D Gran Tourer Owner's Review. After driving our trusty and reliable Mitsubitshi 1.6 GLXi a few months short of 10 years, we finally had to give it up because the COE was expiring and the undercarriage started rattling and sounding like an MRT train. The BMW 216D Gran Tourer wasn't exactly our first choice, to be honest. We were considering the Honda HR-V or the Toyota Harrier as well. Anyway, one thing led to another, and we finally booked our first continental car in the shape of the new BMW 216D Gran Tourer. And here's my personal review of the year 2016 BMW 216D Gran Tourer. And the standard equipment are: it has a 136 horsepower 1.5 litre diesel driven engine with 220 Nm of torque. It comes in a 5+2 seating configuration, which seats a 2 Asian child up to 12 years old and 1.3 meter tall comfortably in the last row. When unused, the last 2 seats are foldable to allow 645 litres of boot space. With the center row seats folded, boot space is further increased to 1,905 litres. Full leather interior where you get to choose the colour of the leather. Leather wrapped steering wheel. Control display unit for multimedia, GPS, vehicle information. Center row passenger seat aircon outlets below front passenger armrest console, and extra handphone charging outlets for center row passengers. Last row rear passenger seat handphone charging outlets as well. Electric powered seats for front passenger and the driver, and the latter allows memory settings for two drivers. Parking assistant function for parallel parking handicapped drivers. Front, rear and side collision warnings. Reverse camera. Bluetooth handphone connection for one active user, usually for the driver, but it can also be configured for multi-users. SOS assistance, which allows you to activate BMW's roadside assistance service. This service is extremely useful just in case your car breaks down by the roadside. Concierge service through BMW's connected drive. At the press of a button, you can call to check for information such as the nearest amenities, petrol kiosks, restaurants, shopping centers, etc. And you can easily get an answer pretty fast. And you do speak to a real person whom are virtual assistants from Philippines and not through an automated voice system. And it feels like having your own personal secretary at your beck and call. Then you got integrated interactive GPS map in the main control display unit. Front passenger center armrest. Center row seats armrest with cup holders. 17-inch alloy rims with double disc brakes, but it does not come with a spare tire because all the tires are the ram flat type. Which means that if you have a flat, it automatically inflates and keeps it safely pressurized until you drive yourself to the nearest BMW service center. They usually last for about 80 kilometers before the tires literally dies on you. Then we got toolkit and first aid kit. Warning triangle. BMW Remote function. This is a application created by BMW where you can download into your smartphone. The application basically enables remote activation of the ventilation system, which preconditions the cabin temperature before you arrive at your car. You can set to start preconditioning of the cabin at a predetermined timing. I find this function really useful if your car has been baking under the sun for some time. So by the time you get into the cabin, it should be pretty comfortable to sit in before you turn on the air conditioning. You can also remotely lock, unlock, sound the horn if you don't remember where you parked it in a car park, flash the headlight and locate your BMW 216D via GPS in the event it's stolen. But do note that this takes a couple of minutes for the request to be relayed to a server before it sends a signal to the car to activate the function. GPS maps are updated regularly via the BMW Connected Drive. This is a paid service which is free for the first year if I'm not wrong. Servicing and warranty for your BMW 216D. Here are some of the main reasons that convinced us to buy the BMW 216D Gran Tourer. It comes with 3 years warranty or 100,000 km, whichever comes first. Free servicing, which includes the engine oil change, parts and labor. BMW concierge service, which is the connected drive. There are other additional options which I feel is great value for money and are worth for you to invest in. For another $100 on each option, you can get 3M UV window film, 2 full car grooming packages, pick and deliver service when your car is due for servicing, additional year of car insurance, BMW's in-car dash camera for front and back. Then there's also an option to increase the car warranty up to 5 years or 200,000 km for another $1,170 if you like. So you may be wondering now, how do we feel about the driving experience of our BMW 216D Gran Tourer so far? Well, so far we feel that the electronics in the car, then the gadgets, the cabin comfort and especially the drive handling has been really wonderful. However, we feel that some of the features are a little bit overwhelming to the extent of sometimes being confusing, to be honest. But anyway, the GPS is now built into the center control unit, so no more handphone or GPS holders on the windscreen to distract you. And the GPS map is also updated regularly via the BMW connected drive. And one thing that is we are absolutely certain about is that the fuel economy is like wow. The technical specifications of the car actually mention that it can cover about 1,100 km on a full tank of diesel. But however, we only managed about 650 plus km before the first review. But nevertheless, I think it's due to the fact that we are still getting used to driving our car. Our first fuel top-up cost just about $66 for 60 litre of diesel. So this works out to less than half of what we used to fill up for our Mitsubishi. And I'm talking about for the whole month actually. At the time of shooting this review video, we have actually covered just about 200 km on a new tank of diesel. But the indicator showed just above the 3/4 tank mark, which is really fantastic. And some of the features we mentioned early on which we didn't quite like, for example the parking alerts and warnings, since we never had them with our Mitsubishi previously. But it has certainly made us more careful during driving and parking. Then there is the engine noise if you are standing outside. If you are comparing it with the engine noise of a petrol-driven car, it's definitely a little bit louder. This is however compensated by the crazy fuel savings we got out of the car. Just last week while waiting for my wife to pick me up, I thought a taxi was approaching and I continued playing with my handphone until she honked at me. Then as far as the comfort in the cabin is concerned, it's definitely far more luxurious than our previous car. And in view of the size and capacity of the BMW 216D Gran Tourer, there is definitely no lack of power even though it's just a 1.5 litre car. There are 3 different driving modes. They are the Sports, Comfort and Eco Pro driving modes. The latter which I find extremely useful in further fuel saving. This feature essentially makes the accelerator a little bit stiffer and harder to step on, which prevents the driver from over-accelerating. With this feature, it just simply adds a new gauge below the odometer or tachometer, which displays in a light blue color. The blue indicator bar extends as you step on the accelerator. So as a driver, the idea is to limit the bar as low as possible, and in doing so, the car rewards you with bonus mileage. On the Eco Pro mode, it simply keeps your engine revving below 2000 RPM. So the more light-footed you drive, the more mileage you earn. So the Sports mode gives you the feeling of driving completely 2 different cars in relation to BMW's 2-car-in-1 engineering philosophy. When you select the Sports mode, the suspension system lowers itself and the throttle response becomes more sensitive. And as mentioned earlier on, there are other features that I'm not particularly impressed with. The line of sight is blocked by 2 larger than usual front column beams to the left and right of the chassis, which makes checking traffic or obstacles while driving difficult. and as such you need to tilt your head further forward to the right or to the left to check for traffic conditions when negotiating a turn. Then there's also the hands-free comfort tailgate function, which is a little bit frustrating and annoying sometimes. Sometimes it responds the moment we prompt it, and at other times it takes like forever. And there's also this stop-start function that is intended to save fuel when you come to a traffic stop. But during heavy traffic, this function can give you serious motion sickness. But you can actually deactivate the function manually if you like to. So overall, I think we are really enjoying the comfort, the luxury, the drive handling and the fuel economy of our new ride. So if you are looking around for MPV with a little bit more luxury and prestige to fit a whole family of about 4 to 7 people including 2 child, I personally feel that the BMW 216D Gran Tourer is worth considering. So finally, to end, I wish you safe driving. I hope my review video has been useful to help you make an informed decision. Please feel free to drop a comment or ask a question below the video here. Do note that all information, specifications, options mentioned in this review are correct at the time of this recording.